right? But another very common one is the task play dialectic.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and talk about that one for a minute. Help people understand this dynamic. What is task play?
Well, let's see. You love every day to just get up and have spontaneity about your day, and it's about having fun and enjoying the day, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But that's a high priority for you. It's just to, if it's a Saturday, you want to get out and go to the mall or, get together with friends, whatever. It's really truly about just playing. You love to play in life, which I do too. But I think that I have this natural tendency to say, we're going to get up and we're going to bag like 10 bags of leaves on Saturday morning.
Right.
And that's not appealing to you at all. And you will do almost anything to avoid it. You will do it.
Yeah.
But it's just not the first on your list by any means. And so we could give so many examples of that. That we've run into, cleaning the garage, whatever. But so we've really had to kind of flex.
And everybody battles these things, right? Task play is a dynamic that goes on with most people. And I could say this for me, that dynamic for me is one of the things that held me back for so many years early on as a young man, is I was so unfocused on task that I wasn't very self-disciplined. Over the years, I've learned that, if I want to truly be successful at what I do, I've got to learn to be able to be very task oriented. And so I grew in that more and more. And then obviously with you've helped me to really see the responsibilities. I've got this rule that I try to do now, and that is that if I see a need, I try to if I can take care of it right then, I'll do it then.
Yeah.
And not delay and procrastinate and push it off to another time.
Yeah.
And it's helped me a lot, but I'm still the play person and you're very much the task person. But you've learned to come down towards the play side with me.
Yeah, you've taught me a lot about this. This is still an area, I think, of growth for me, but you've taught me so much about just being present, I think, with whatever situation arises. You're really good at that, especially when it comes to people. You will literally drop everything that you're doing just to engage someone or to have an encounter with someone. You're never too busy for anyone. And, that's really admirable because for me, I can really let kind of my to-do list, if you will, to get in the way of what's most important. And so, I've really learned a lot from you in that area.
Yeah, I think we both have grown in each of those. I mean, honestly, I think each of these dialectics, because of our awareness of them, this is one reason why we wanted to talk about this today, is because this particular insight into relationships, I think, has really helped us to realize it's not about there's something wrong with Walter or there's something wrong with Stacy. It's that what's happened is, and this is a concept that you and I, when we learn this, it's painful, but it's true. And that is what you realize is in a relationship, the other person becomes a mirror to your own immaturity.
Yeah.
And so when I'm around you, you become a reflection of me. I see myself and my own immaturity in you. So to the degree that I'm play and not task, I realize you're helping me to see the imbalance. I'm extroversion, not introversion, the inability just to be alone and to reflect for excessive periods of time. That dynamic, when tension arises, I realize that's a mirror of my own immaturity and yours, right? And yours. And this is what we have to realize is that human beings, when we get into relationships with them, they become a mirror of our own immaturity. But what is our natural tendency to do? We don't look at somebody else and go, wow, you sure show me my own immaturity so well.
No, we always default to ourselves and we always, do blame. And, I think that it's just too easy to do that. I think also it's very difficult to really be able to see ourselves and our true deficiencies. Maybe I should speak for myself, but I think it's almost so painful to see your own deficiencies for what they really are.
Yeah.
That you have to deflect it. It's just kind of your human nature default. Because if you really look at, how you may have contributed to a terrible fallout you had, it's so ugly and so painful. It really takes a real maturity and a pause to really see yourself for what you really bring to the table. And then when you do, it's so much easier to just own it and move through it and lay your pride down and say, I'm sorry. But I know for me, many times in our conflicts, I know that what I did was so ugly and what I said was so ugly. And I can't even hardly admit it to myself because it's so ugly.
Yeah.
So then you just hold on to it for as long as you can.
Yeah.
And, I think that's, if you could just move through that cycle faster, I think it would make conflict resolution.
It'll get you to what you both ultimately want, which is peace together, right? Yeah, it's like self-justification requires the fault of the other. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I have to seek it out. Yeah. I have to demonstrate to you your faults in order for me to live in my self-justified world about why I was right and you were wrong. Mm-hmm. And man, that's painful to give that up. Mm-hmm. This goes back to a model we talked about several podcasts ago, the whole idea of going in the box, feeling fully self-justified. But in order to get out of the box, what does that require for somebody to truly give up their self-justification? What does that require of them?
I think you really have to see yourself accurately. And you have to stop demonizing the other person. And I think when you're in marriage and you're fighting, it's so easy just to demonize the other person. And pretty soon, you've just built this little ball and it's terrible. Yeah. But if you can really stop and go, you know what? What a jerk am I? I could have done the same thing. And I have done the same thing. Yeah. And I have acted the same way.
Right.
And yet I'm so prideful that I can't even admit it. I think it's just, man, it's hard to come to terms with that. And so we stay in our little boxes as long as we possibly can. If we could just stop and recognize we really want the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. We have the same goal. We want connectedness and we just keep kind of missing each other.